What's up guys, Tommy Bowyer here from Movie Rewind, and today I will be counting down the top 5 casualty friendships. So without further ado, let's get into it. I haven't done a casualty video in a while, so it's great to be back doing this content again for you guys. And today I thought I would do my top 5 personal favourite friendships. Now, Casualty has had a lot of friendships over the years. I think that's an understatement to say the least. Now, a couple of quick disclaimers before we get going into the ranking. Obviously, I have been watching Casualty since 2007, so my ranking would be very different from someone who's been watching the show since 1986. So please keep that in mind as you're watching the ranking. This is not a definitive list either. It's very biased. You know, I prefer certain friendships than others. There's some friendships which I think are fantastic and someone else might think that they're pretty poor. So I think it's all down to opinion. Please feel free to let me know what your favourite casualty friendships are down below, because it'd be great to get a discussion going and hear you guys' views on these things. So let's get on with this ranking. At number 5, I have selected paramedics Ian Dean and Sam Nichols. Now, paramedics often make good friendships for the simple reason the paramedics spend a lot of time together, so they have a lot of scenes together, which means there's more of an opportunity to develop that friendship. And Ian has been paired with a lot of different people, including Jez and Ruby. However, I think when he was paired with Sam, that worked really well. They were both former lovers, however their friendship just worked. It was funny, there was plenty of amusing moments between the two, plus they cared about one another as well. And I think that's what made that friendship really well. It worked for them as paramedics, and the fact that they were only together as paramedics for just under a year, shows how strong that friendship was, that it stands out despite the fact it weren't developed for a very long time on screen. At number 4, I have nurses Charlie Fairhead and Tess Bateman. Now, in my personal opinion, Tess as clinical nurse manager and Charlie as emergency nurse practitioner made the strongest nursing team that Holby ED has ever had. I really liked them two together. They were a strong unit and they supported all of the other nurses under their care. Plus, their friendship was really strong as well. There was plenty of heartwarming scenes between both characters and they supported each other no matter how many times they had problems. They supported one another. I remember especially a storyline when Charlie's son Louis is going through addiction, and Tess supports Charlie and Louis through that. And I think that's what true friends do. They are there for one another. And I think that is why I'm so looking forward, if you haven't known, the recent news that Tess is returning to Casualty for 2 episodes near Christmas, and most of her scenes will be with Charlie. I think that makes sense because their friendship was something special. At number 3, I have receptionist Noel Garcia and Porter Big Mac. Now, these two worked because they were both outcasts, very quirky characters, and I think that's why this friendship worked. Now, the majority of their storylines were comedy based, and I think that's why I enjoyed their friendship so much. It weren't high stakes drama all the time. They were people you always get in any kind of job. They're there to have a laugh and joke around. They do care about their jobs, but they're there to have a laugh as well. And I think that's why I find their friendship really good. I think once Big Mac left, I felt that void that was created because Noel didn't really have anyone to interact with. So Big Mac and Noel, they worked really, really well together. I was devastated when that friendship came to an end. Obviously, it's not going to even happen again because, of course, Noel tragically died at the beginning of this year. So that friendship is definitely over on screen. But while it was there, my God, it was fantastic and very, very funny. The runner-up, I have consultant Dylan Keogh and staff nurse David Hyde. Now, these two are hilarious. Polar opposites in many ways, but that is why it works. Now, I know Dylan has had other friendships with Zoe, for example, but I think Dylan and David, that just works so well. I remember seeing an article where they said that Dylan and David's new bromance is one of the best things Casualty have done in a long while. And I would have to agree with that. I really like them together. And they support one another as well. When David has been going through troubles, when Dylan was struggling with his alcoholism, they're both there to support one another like proper friends do. Plus, there's plenty of comedy moments. I would definitely recommend series 32 if you want to see some classic Dylan and David moments. There's a lot of funny moments between them both in that series. They're just a fantastic friendship, and I hope that we see more scenes of them together in the future, because they work really well together, and you can tell that the actors get on really well as well, because it shows through their performances. Now, the top prize, my #1 spot, and for me this was no real contest, it's paramedics Dixie and Jeff. Now, these two, and I've said it before in other videos, are the strongest paramedic team Casualty have ever had. Throughout that 7-year friendship, them two were fantastic. So many funny moments between them both. They spent a lot of time together. They had a lot of scenes together. And Casualty, in my opinion, just isn't the same without Dixie and Jeff as the paramedics. They laid the example. They set the example for future paramedic duos because they were great. They were often referred to as the A-Team, or at least Jeff referred to them as the A-Team, and that was fantastic. Very, very funny characters, but also they cared about one another. I mean, Jeff married Dixie in order to please her dying father. You know, that's what friendship is. They both cared deeply about one another. And I remember when Jeff tragically died in the car explosion, Dixie made clear at his funeral that while their relationship was not exactly a physical relationship, there was love there. And that is true. Those two really did care about one another. And once Jeff died, it was never the same. Dixie was never the same character again. So I love their friendship. I'm currently watching classic Casualty on UK Drama, and those two are very prominent in the show at the moment. And their friendship, it just makes Casualty for me. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this ranking. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. Now, please remember to comment down below your thoughts, especially if you've been watching Casualty longer than me, because you will probably have very different ideas than me. And that's good. It's good that people are very varied on their opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in another one. See ya!